Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please state. Taka amagara ni kamusumarimasu. Kamurogi kamurogi no mikoto mochite. Someni oya kamu izanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no imuka no tachihana no. Odo no awagi hara ni misogi hara itamo. Maseru Harai Kami Tachi Moro Moro no Magagoto Tsunike Gare o Harai Tamai Kiyome Tamai Tomao Sukoto no Yoshi o Amatsu Kami Kunitsu Kami Yao Yorozu no Kami Tachi Tomoni Ame no Fujigoma no Nini Purita Dete Akikoshi Meseto Kashikomi Momaozu Hiroku o Mikami Mamori Tamae Saki Hae Tamae Miroku o Mikami Mamori Tamae Saki Hae Tamae
Shie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Shie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kum nagara damachi haemase. Kum nagara damachi haemase.
Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive Group Johrei.
May God and Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's. Illness. The teachings that guide people to truth, health, are paths of salvation ordained by God. Do not fear illness or hardships. Accept them as God's blessings, a way of purifying us of our accumulated spiritual clouds. Even though illness is healed through prayers, we still hold medical science in high esteem. The primary purpose of Johrei is not to effect physical healing. Johrei is an action that brings about spiritual fulfillment and true happiness on earth. I say this because sickness is a form of purification, and the real cause of sickness is clouds on the spiritual body, which are dispelled through that purification. Johrei is a way by which all the negative experiences of a person can be eliminated. In this sense, poverty and conflict are also manifestations of purification. However, the most serious of all purifications is illness because it involves one's very life. Therefore, when the problem of disease is solved, other miseries such as poverty and conflict are automatically solved too. Since the solution of these miseries is essential for the attainment of true happiness, it needs to be clearly understood that the cause of all miseries is clouds on the spiritual body, and that the simplest and surest way to dispel clouds and attain true happiness is Johrei. Therefore, Johrei is not merely something to be used for the healing of physical illness.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Today, I'd like to share the faith experience of José Rodrigues da Silva Cajado. He's from the Amadores Sintra Johrei group. After an employment situation, José was blessed to work for a multinational company and within his professional area. When he joined this company, he was very well received, his work was valued, but relations between co-workers were a little out of control. There was a lot of negative talking, arguments came out of nowhere, and problems after problems piled up. Gradually, and through reading the teachings of God revealed to Meishu-sama, he got inspiration to mediate the conflict so that harmony would return. Took months of diplomacy and great patience. After the first year, the publishing company, a Spanish multinational, rebuilt its structure in Portugal. It fired half of its employees, and strangely, they saved José's job, leaving him solely with the responsibility for the entire production in Portugal, and with integration into the body of their staff. Once again, José thanked Meishu-sama for the protection he received. Month after month, he absorbed the excessive work solely by himself. When he couldn't get everything done at work, he would come home and continue to work the night away so that nothing would be late. There were many hours at dawn, weekends, and holidays without being rewarded. Despite his efforts, he went to work every day with a smile on his face, inspiring his colleagues with his good mood. 18 months later, the promise of integration into the company's positions did not materialize. He questioned the general manager and received the answer that it was being difficult and that perhaps this integration would not materialize soon due to changes in strategy at the company's headquarters in Spain. Joseph felt discouraged because even though he was doing his best effort, he wasn't being appreciated. In his daily prayers, he surrendered this disappointment to God and Meishu-sama, accepting and thanking everything that was being provided to him. A short time later, he received a phone call from a childhood friend. He told José that in conversation with his brother, he learned of José's discontent and that he had an open position on his company's marketing department. He would like to arrange an interview with José, who became very happy and felt he was being guided to another change in his life. The interview went very well. He felt he had a chance of being hired, but after that day, weeks passed without answer or contact. When he finally heard from them, they told him they were still evaluating different applications. José realized that it was not worth it to be worried or anxious about the situation. Once again, he surrendered everything into the hands of God and Meishu-sama with the aim of donating his first salary as soon as he was integrated into the staff of the company. Months passed, and bad news continued to arrive from Spain. The company might have to close one more magazine. He arrived home quite apprehensive and was wandering through his thoughts when he got another phone call. This time, it was from the head of the marketing department at his friend's company. It was a quick conversation, and he was just meant to validate his experience. It was such a surreal conversation that he went in front of Meishu-sama's consecrated picture and asked for a definition, and was tired of this situation. Whenever some job opportunity would appear, things remained in a standing still without a definition. In the meantime, he decided to participate in the annual ancestor service of November 1st at the Portugal Church's headquarters in Coimbra, where he had never been before. During the service, he thought of an extraordinary feat it would be if the church managed to carry out all the remodeling works at their headquarters and receive the altar of the ancestors. José also thought there was a change in his career that would allow him to increase his monetary gratitude offering for the church's remodeling needs. The following Friday, exactly a week after the annual ancestor service, he received a call from his friend. They wanted to talk to José again. After one more conversation, everything fell into place, and they finally came to an agreement. He would join their staff, even being 54 years old, with a salary and benefits higher than what was initially mentioned, which left him stunned. Upon returning home, he felt that there had been a lot of work from the spiritual realm, and the credit for this hiring belonged entirely to his ancestors. When he thought about it, images came in his mind of them cheering for him. Joseph feels grateful to have received this mission. Every day he thanks and accepts everything that God and Meishu-sama had given to him. In addition to donating 10% of his monthly earnings, special gratitude donation for the renovation of the church headquarters in the total amount of his first salary. José is very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and his ancestors for the opportunity to dedicate and participate in the renovation of their headquarters. That was the experience of José from the Amadora and Sintra Johrei group in Portugal. And another experience I would like to share with you this morning is from Eloá Moya. She's from the Praça da Árvore Johrei Center, Brazil. Eloá has been a Johrei member for 13 years and gives service as a family assistant and in the faith experience sector of her Johrei Center. With the onset of the new coronavirus pandemic, in March of last year, she agreed that her son, then 13 years old, would travel to his father's house, who lives in another state, and would stay there for a month, as everyone school holidays. Eloa didn't agree, as she had never been away from him for so long. However, the father insisted, and her son did not return. With the end of the agreed period, the father asked him to stay for an extended period, as in that way he would be less exposed to contamination. The days passed, and she began to feel loneliness and fear. How he was doing and started having anxiety. This state of mind hurt her son, who was also saddened by the situation. He tried to reason with his father to send him back, but the father was adamant. Eloa was emotionally paralyzed, and she couldn't even work properly anymore. She even thought about bringing her son by force. Such was her attachment and despair. She asked Meishu-sama daily during the online services for his intervention to act and intercede on her behalf, but the situation was not reversed. In late April, she spoke via video call with her minister and reported the facts. The minister guided her to pray, surrendering everything to Meishu-sama, and asked that the divine will prevail instead of wanting to impose hers. The minister also recommended for her to intensify the reading of the teachings and reflect on the points she needed to improve, such as releasing attachment, controlling her ego, not getting angry, training patience, and trusting in God. The next day, the teaching read during the online morning service at headquarters was The Exquisite Flavor of Faith, according to which being in a state of grace is reaching a state of mind in which, after one's maximum effort in any situation, the person surrenders to God. She reflected and understood that everything was happening according to the divine will, and she calmed down. She sent a message to her son, giving him joy and security. She said that with the father, he would be more protected and cared for, and that this moment would be important for him to strengthen the affective bond between him and his paternal family. After that, everything changed. Her son became calm and happy, experiencing occurrences that will greatly contribute to his future life. She stopped suffering from the situation and was able to proceed with her activities in a light-hearted spirit. He returned after 5 months. Today she realizes how much she changed after this experience. She learned that her child is not her property, that her mission is to contribute to the formation of his character and personality, helping him to become a useful instrument to God and to the well-being of society. Eloa is very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and her ancestors for this learning opportunity. She commits to continue studying and applying the teachings of Meishu-sama in her daily life, so that she can live constantly in alignment with the divine will. Thank you very much for attending this morning service, listening to these experiences. A very wonderful Saturday, a very wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a blessed day.